Hi, I'm Cameron. I don't just read comics, I love them. Welcome back to another episode of Cameron Reads Comics. Today, I realized I have had an exceptional month of comic book collecting, and so I wanted to show you guys what I have received. It's not even the end of the month yet. I just want to show you, I guess, so far. I don't think it'll top this, but I just want to show you guys so far what I have bought in the month of May. Big shout out to my local comic shop, Pulp Fiction Comics in Long Beach. They are, number one, always taking care of me. Number two, the best pull box system I've ever seen. I've probably had more finds there in their dollar bins than anywhere else. And that's not because they're irresponsible with their dollar bins. It's literally just because, like, they care about the customers more than, the profit. If they know that if I'm happy, I'm going to be a repeat customer. So big shout out to them. A lot of these books are from them. So support your local comic shop. That's where we're going to start off because they have my heart. Your local comic shop has my heart. My local comic shop has my heart. I'm a lover of comics, okay? Welcome to Cameron Reads Comics. Anyways, first up, these are just dollar bin issues, and they are some of my favorites. This is Adventures of Superman 501 and Superman Man of Steel number 22. I like these issues for their covers. This is part of the Reign of the Supermen, some of the early issues of that. Obviously, we have one of the earliest appearances of Steel, and then this is obviously an early Superboy. When I saw these, I thought maybe they'll be their first appearance, but they're not. I think I might pick up that issue. I think it's pretty affordable, and it is the first appearance of many of my favorite characters, Steel, Superboy, and Cyborg Superman, to be specific. But yeah, I also got these because they come with a poster, and I'm a huge... these were 50 cents each, really affordable. I think they got just a ton of them from a collector that was like, oh my gosh, I need these. So I think I might just take the posters out of these and pick up a couple more copies later on. But great start. Great. Love those. And the posters are really cool. I might try and clip those. Okay, now this is where it gets ridiculous. I haven't had a month this good of comic book finding in a long time. Last month's was kind of WonderCon, which is its own beast. But here is really where it gets good. For the Fantastic Four fans, I got an early, it is a copy of Fantastic Four 82, part of the first 100 issues, obviously, by Stanley and Jack Kirby. It's a super famous Jack Kirby cover. I saw it. I got this for $14.99. So I got this for $14.99. Really cool book. Love this. The copy's a little beat up, but the OG Black Bolt, Inhumans, and look, you even have Crystal from the Inhumans wearing a FF costume. Just great, awesome cover. I've been lately collecting a lot of Fantastic Four covers, just classic books. I love the Fantastic Four. So there we go. There's that. Next up, a book that I got for cheap. I think they were underselling this, and I told them that, but they're glad to, hook me up. I think this book is going to be worth a lot in the future, especially with the Jane Foster Thor stuff. But all new Wolverine #1. You guys know I have bought the omnibus recently, I think over Christmas, and I've yet to read it, but I know I'm going to love this series. This is one of my favorite covers of all time. So got this first, Laura Kinney as Wolverine, if you're looking for that kind of stuff. But I got this mostly because I think I'm going to love this run. They sold this to me for $10. I think that this will easily in the future be a triple digit book, if not, $50, $75 range. So really excited about this one. Yeah, I love that cover of her in the Wolverine costume. Okay, now this is where it gets really freaking good, and I had to actually exercise some self-control. I thought these were underpriced. I thought this set of books I've been looking for a long time, and it is 3 copies of Batman number 619, which is the last, I believe, arc in the Hush storyline. So we have the red cover, and this is a cover that folds out. It's a fold-out cover that shows Batman's entire I want to say Rogues Gallery. It's all the Batman team, the Bat family. At least at this time, I think it's 2002. 2003 at the time. So It's the early Bat Family stuff. You have Tim Drake, Robin. It's my penultimate Bat Family, I think, probably excluding Azrael. But this is one of the most infamous Batman covers of all time. The Red Sky, I'm akin to being a Batman the Animated Series fan, at least New Adventures of Batman the Animated Series. Love this book. They sold this for $9.99, which I was like, I have to pick it up. I've always wanted this cover. It's one of my favorite Batman covers ever. Very famous image. I think that is the first print, and I think this is the second print. It's a black copy or like a blue sky cover of it. It's all nighttime. Same image. The Bat logo on this one's a little bit smaller at the top, but that's okay with me. I was like, I want this. I want both. I don't know which one's the right one. I'll get both. They're only $10 each. I'll gladly will. Huge fan. Yeah, and finally we have Batman 619. This is the villains variant. It's the third one over. I guess this is the first appearance of Hush in costume. That's what my comic book store manager told me. But I didn't buy it for that. I think these are more famous for the covers. I don't know if this is the first, but I don't know a lot of the Hush issue numbers. Obviously, I think the duration of the story is Hush or Batman number 608 through 623. I had 2 copies of Batman 608 a long time ago. They were both signed. I sold them though. Yeah, I got the Hush. These are, I think at this point, I have all of the Hush covers I want. The last one I put in my best of the year list, which is Batman. It's 608, but it's the second print cover, which is the most famous one. And it's so freaking beautiful. So there we go. There's that. And now we have the 2 biggest finds. Actually, I think these finds more than anything else are what sealed the deal for me in this video. Okay, so there's kind of a story of both of these, and it is the most insane circumstances. I think that to preface, I called 2 people. I called my friend Kyle Rice, who you guys have heard from on my podcast before. I called 2 people. I called Kyle Rice, and then I called my mom, and I just told them both that I had just committed a robbery, meaning I got these for such a steal. Now, I think that this is up to you guys, but for me, I think that if you go to a comic shop and they take care of you consistently, then it is your obligation as a customer to let them know if they have some stuff in their dollar bins that should not be in their dollar bins. But there comes an also point when you go to another comic shop, and they just don't know what they're selling. And, this was one of those times where I wasn't as gracious because I was like, there's some hardcore news about these, and they didn't slip under the rug. Like, you just weren't paying attention. And if you're not paying attention, then that's when I'm going to be, all right, I'm going to go for it. So first, and I'm like, I feel like they knew for this one, but they just did not price it right. First one right here, Superman Annual, I believe it's number 11. If you know this cover, it is, personally, this is a grail for me. This is my favorite Superman story of all time. My favorite single issue of Superman ever. It's by Alan Moore or by Dave Gibbons. Superman for the Man Who Has Everything. I got this issue for $10, which is ridiculous. I think this is a $100 issue. I think it's, selling it. The copy isn't amazing. I'd say it's like a 6.5, but that's easily still a $50 book minimum. So got this for $10, and I was like, oh my goodness, that is crazy insane. One of my favorite stories ever. It actually sealed the deal for me. Like, I'm very Mongol as one of the greatest villains of the DC universe. It's the first appearance of the Black Mercy. One of the greatest. And I'm so happy I found this issue. I think I'm actually going to get a new bag and board. This one looks kind of old, but there we go. They also didn't take very good care of their comics at this one shop I went to. So where I found this, I was just out of town and I was looking around and I found these 2 things. Next up is actually not a single issue comic book, but it is one of the most hyped up books of this year. I wanted a copy very bad, and there's actually a lottery basically to win these books. And that meaning you had to be lucky enough to get to your store and buy it up. And this is one of those books where I was like, how did you get a copy, number 1? And number 2, how did you not mark it on sale for $250? There's no, the guy at the register, it was a comic book coffee shop. The guy at the register, I don't think he was paying attention. Like, I don't know if he knew much about comics because, and that's not me trying to be elitist. That's just me like, hey, I don't know if you know what you have because, this is a very famous cover. And I'm like, okay, well, if you don't know what that is, then whatever, $10 still. I'm like, it's marked up. This one, I'm like, you literally just didn't know what you had. And this is too good of a deal for me not to just hand over to you. And that book is a trade paperback of Justice League of America versus the Avengers. I got this book for $30, which if you have a copy or it is the cover price of this. And I'm not a terrible person. I didn't take them for a ride. I actually, because it's a coffee shop, there's like a tip option for buying comic books, and I tipped him $5 because I was like, oh my gosh, I just scored. And this one, I literally pulled off a robbery because I never thought I'd have this. And it's really sad, I think, that Marvel and DC can't get their act together for this, because Marvel and DC didn't make this happen. Heroes Initiative made this happen. So big shout out to Heroes Initiative. It was them, and like, I'm not going to resell this. I'm not going to try and flip it for more money. And if I did, I would donate the profits to Hero Initiative. But yeah, I just, it's sad because it's not available anywhere else. It's not on Comixology. It's not, DC and Marvel. Like, this was about the only place you can get your, it's not on DC Universe. It's not on Marvel Unlimited. There's literally just no place to read this without like literally stealing it. And that stinks. I don't want to steal comics. I don't want to pirate comics. This was the only hope for that. And so many people just sold it and got their hands on it and then flipped it, which is so sad, but it's the nature of the beast. So I'm so glad to have my own copy to finally read these stories. I'm a huge Kurt Busiek fan. I love George Perez. Go check out my George Perez Artist Spotlight video. But yeah, so this is the biggest find. Got it for cover price. It's really good condition. It's just, like a book that you found sitting on the shelf. It was just in the shelf with everything else. And there's also a bunch of really cool Green Arrow trades. Like of the OG Jed Winnick, Phil Hester run. They pretty much had like the whole thing. And so next time I'm in that part of town, which is about an hour south of me, I think I'm going to go pick up all the Green Arrows because they're out of print, and I think that freaking story is so good. Like all that Jed Winnick stuff. Like, I've always wanted to read those, so I would gladly collect them. We're so glad to have gotten this. I'm literally just crying. I'm going to read it. I'm so excited to read it because I just want to know what all the hype is about. And every single edition of this series skyrocketed too, so really such a great month. I'm so fortunate to have found this, but I hope that shows you guys, please go out into the wild and go find comics. If this is out in the wild here, you can go find it anywhere. Always swing by your local comic shops, always support, always buy something at a new comic shop, because we're the kind of people that are going to keep these places afloat. So I'm Cameron. Make sure to clobber those like and subscribe buttons. Make sure to check out my podcast, Cameron Reads Comics, and comment your best comic book find in the wild, because I think as of right now, these might be my best ones ever. Clobber those like and subscribe buttons. I'll see you next time.